Hello and welcome everyone back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and my players as always. As we carry on our Rogue Trader game. So in the last episode, our players had some food, had a little dining experience with the ecclesiarchy. It was more awkward and difficult than you can imagine. Oh yeah, you can't eat. You're a Xenos abomination, so silence.
Just slowly scraping it into a bowl under the table to bring back to the room so you can eat in peace.
Filling up a doggy bag. Oh, a Xeno
Scrape
bag.
into a bowl. I'm gonna make it turn it into a shake later and drink it.
It's just at the end of the meal. Oh yeah, can I get a doggy bag for my friend here? It's just you sitting there with a fucking hood and helmet on, like looking at us like, I want food.
I hunger.
I'm going to fucking die if I take my helmet off. Help! The religious fanatics are about me.
So yes, an awkward dinner with the Sisters of Battle and the head priest and a few other priests, where there was definitely some tension. Sisters of Battle do not seem to be entirely on board with the priest's way of doing things, but obligations to protect the church. They kind of have to do what they are told. You were also given a few quests, and then at the end of the meal, you all left. As you're leaving, the Sister of Battle, whose name I forget, but she's the head one, she walks you all out of the Sky Tower. She informs you of the quests that she has, which is fixing up the Sisters' battle armor. She also informs you that when you leave, you won't be able to come back in. The Sky Tower is on a daily lockdown. Basically, at sunset, the Sky Tower shuts up. At sunrise, it opens again. She informs you that quarters have been set up for you at the pub. Of course, they don't know that you've all got quarters within the housing part of the guild, because they thought you all just went to the common rooms and took a nap. They didn't actually know. They don't know that you have rooms in the Sky Tower. So they went under the assumption that you would be staying in the pub. And as a reminder from last time, the mechanics do normally visit the pub in the evening to get pissed, pretty much. So in short, you're ejected from the Sky Tower. Is there anything you would like to say to the Sister of Battle before you were ejected?
Wait, like eject?
I would have mentioned to Heinrich to. Yes, I would have asked to go to the pub. Anyway, I would also say to Heinrich to arrange for an appointment for a meeting with the Sisters of Battle.
Oh yeah, no, I will definitely be doing that with Elena. I think it's Elena, isn't it? Elena. Sorry, I got a fucking spram of messages there. Just
yes, Eleanor Keel, or Eleanor Kelly, rather, not Keel. Kelly.
I'm pretty sure I know a girl called Eleanor Kelly. Kelly's a very common surname over here. But sorry, I missed that. I missed that little bit. I know we were expected to have rooms in the pub, but was it the Sisters of Battle that were expecting us to have rooms in the pub, or was it just the locals?
It was the inhabitants of the Sky Tower. So Odleth, the ecclesiarchy preacher, and the Sisters of Battle, they assumed you would be in the pub, because no one knows that you've actually got access to the Sky Tower's entertainment facilities. You've registered with the guild. You have housing within the Sky Tower, which is literally geno-locked to you guys. They don't know that, but yeah, their assumption is you wanted to meet the mechanics, so you might as well go to the pub, meet the mechanics, and stay there. But the gates to the Sky Tower are manually operated, so once they kick you out for the evening, you can't get back in.
Okay. I mean, I'll have it there and ready to go. At least I don't really mind staying at the pub, at least until we get there.
Okay, so
Sorry.
you are informed that Heinrich is informed that should he ever need to come back during daylight hours, and he'll be more than welcomed through the portcullis, or whatever you want to call it, the gate. Heinrich, you get a really clear and imprinted understanding that this means you. That if you want to come, and if you want to bring your followers, that's perfectly fine. If your followers come without you, they're gonna get turned the fuck away. Cray might be able to talk his ass in. The rest of them won't.
So, yeah, fair enough. Can I ask Elena, when would be the best time for me to come around for a meeting with the Sisters of Battle only? Rather than have things bogged down with ecclesiastical administration. What about just a singular talk?
So the sister would tell you, but she gives you a brief rundown on their daily routine. As you can imagine, it's an awful lot of praying and battle practice, drills, and so on and so forth. But she basically tells you that every later afternoon, so around about 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, she's normally free if you want to have a proper meeting. But if you tell any of the sisters that you'd like to arrange a meeting for a day, the message will be passed on. You just got to go in 2 days' time at 3 o'clock. Be there.
Okay, fair enough.
Or be a heretic.
Be there, be heretic. Oh, no, can't do that. Oh!
For sure, she sends you off, Heinrich, with a typically imperial, noble imperial manner. The rest of you kind of just gets ushered out the gate. And as you cross over the gate indeed closes as the sun is just about to set. Within the Sky Tower town, lights begin to flicker and come on, illuminating most of the streets, but there are back alleys that are still in darkness. You make your way over to the pub. You'd note that there are a decent number of people still out and about. It definitely looks as if work has finished for the day, and people are congregating. They're meeting up. Some children are playing in the streets. It seems to be a really community-based group outside of the Sky Tower. However, Heinrich, again, you're the only baseline human who would really notice these. I don't think Cooney would notice it, because Cooney's probably used to this happening every day since she's got onto this world. Everyone views you with suspicion and with they're outsiders, be a bit careful. Like children cross the street as you lot come walking down. Admittedly, a human, a metal man, two furries, and a fucking Xenos. It's not the greatest crowd to be walking down the road in, but people are genuinely friendly enough. They just do seem to give you a wide berth. The Shield Sisters are patrolling regularly. But unlike a policing force, again, they seem to be very friendly with everyone, being all of the same community.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, it's pretty much all that you notice. Oh, so you would notice the blacksmiths, but his area is closed down at the moment. So maybe an area to investigate tomorrow. But yeah, apart from that, everything just seems to be like a normal medieval steampunk kind of town. As you make your way over to the pub. New map.
Hey.
It's not a new map, but it's a map.
Quote unquote.
So if you go north a little bit, you'll see that Muttermouth and Thomas have already made themselves seated. And there are 3 individuals. There are 4 individuals. There's the barman and there's the 3 others. You know, Erasmus? I think that's her name.
Yeah.
There are a number of other. It's not just these people. There's a lot of other people in the bar itself. But these are the individuals that are pointed out to you.
Okay.
They are the people of note. And also Erasmus is there and like waving you over, which helps.
Fair enough.
So
I'm sure Mother Mouth and Thomas do as well. Apparently been here for like the past hour.
you know, you got.
And I cast Fireball.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, wrong game.
No. Heretic. So as you stop it, YouTube. Just stop it. YouTube, I understand. I'm only streaming at 3000 kbps. I get it. But here's the thing. It's a 2D game. There's no movement. All you need to do is capture the audio. So shut the fuck up. So as you all enter, there are a large number of individuals who, in some respects, they remind you of Cray. The smell as you enter has changed. It's now more oily. Smells a little bit like an engineer's workshop. All the individuals who are sat down have oil and grease on their clothing, on their skin. Some of them have burns. Some of them still have a couple of tools on their belt. And for a split second, you do think, holy shit, tech priests. Because their garb, they are wearing large trench coat like jackets, which are red in colour. They have a cowl and a mantle that goes on their shoulders. And it honestly looks a little bit like tech priest robes, but it's not. When you see one of them stand up at the bar and turn round, you can clearly see it is a jacket, but from behind, for an instant, Cray, you thought you saw tech priests for a mere moment. And then you remembered that, you know, you saw the fleshiness of them and realized that they're inferior. But as Erasmus waves you over, you will take note, Heinrich, at the very least. She is at a table with a couple of bottles, a large number of empty glasses, an incredibly old man. Can I get a perception test from everyone? But Heinrich will essentially, he gets a bonus to it because he's nobility. He's seen some old motherfuckers before.
Okay. Like what, +10?
No, if you just roll it flat, and I'll give you bonuses for your background afterwards.
I fucking needed them anyway. 98.
Okay, you may want to re-roll that. I can only help you so much.
I'm going to
Yeah,
reroll.
so,
Okay, that's at least a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm going to clear my rules here.
So, Cray, you're more taken aback with the cybernetics that I'll bring up later on, and the almost red robed, but they're not. They're red
Next fucking roll
jacketed.
was a 77. Fuck you, game.
They're red jacketed individuals. So, Heinrich, you've got no idea how old this individual is. He looks ancient. What you can guess is his natural skin is almost paper thin. But he has a number of skin grafts all over well, from what you can see, his lower arms, hands, parts of his face, particularly the front portion of his face, whereas the back and sides are far more his natural skin. You take note of his elbows and other areas that you as a noble know to look for signs of rejuvenate work and how old someone really is. One of the fluff things is that the elbows never get rejuvenated. For some reason, the meat on the elbow always shows a true age or a rough approximation.
I count the rings on his elbows to see how old he actually is.
I count the calluses. You would
like a tree.
You would imagine, Heinrich, that he is 100 years minimum.
Fucking hell, okay.
Minimum. With, minus 3.6 degrees, he's 100 years minimum. The individual sat opposite him is probably in his 30s. As you look, maybe he's had rejuvenate work, but if he did, he had it in his 30s, and it might not have been that long ago. So the telltale signs haven't aged up yet. For Cray, you did fail, but still, you can have some things that you took note of. The individuals in the bar, the other side, where Cooney currently is, even though Cooney's meant to be where everyone else is, although there's no Cray on the map either, so we can attack Cray there as well. As you look around Cray, you can see that the other mechanics in the bar have two metal bars along the side of their scalps, just before their ears. Jack and Damon, they have two on either side. These look an awful lot like the Mechanicus mantle implants. And Cooney, you did succeed. So, Cooney, you can see that the old man is truly ancient. You can see the skin grafts that he's had, but you're not entirely sure why. Like, you can see the thin skin, and maybe his skin is too thin. But again, not really something that Tau deal with. So he's ancient. How old exactly? No idea. Human biology, you're not sure. You can tell that both these individuals have both had martial training. If you're led to believe that these are mechanics, these are combat mechanics. These are not... So again, what I know of the Earthcast is the Earthcast do not fight. What I know of the Windcast don't fight, or the Aircast, whatever they are. They don't train in martial combats or maybe a bit of marksmanship, but maybe. These individuals both have the muscle definition, especially Damon. That tells you that they practice. The old man maybe not. However, he is still standing with a very martial stance, shoulders back, head up. Whereas, Damon, his arms are big enough to tell that he is a practicing combat enthusiast, whatever it is, martial individual.
Combatant.
Combatant. As you are all called over, Eresnus gestures for you all to sit down. She pours glasses of what looks like wine and begins to pass them out. As she looks over at Jack, Jack, the old man, is fascinated. Like, his eyes are just all over Cray. He's lusting after the metal man. Whereas Damon has moved off his seat slightly. He's shifted away from Cray. And Eresnus gestures to you, Heinrich, and is this is Heinrich. He's the important guest I was telling you about. Heinrich, this is Jack Lance and his son Damon Lance. Damon gives you a scowl, whereas Jack looks you up and down, Heinrich. And not like the last one I see. He was fancy. You a kind of drab.
I'm gonna grin and give him a quick bow. Quick bow of the head, just. Yeah, well, getting kidnapped by pirates does that to a man.
Oh, really? Rogue traders get kidnapped? Huh? Who'd have thought? I thought your group were above that kind of mundanity, I suppose.
We are, but unfortunately circumstances permitted. Circumstances permitted, things would change. Well, I'm not captured anymore.
Well, unless you're captured by the Sky Tower, that is. Mm?
I must say it is beautiful, but I am not captured in that way.
No, I wasn't talking about its beauty. It's hideous, in fact. I've never liked its design, but its heart is quite impressive.
I'm just chuckling along with this guy.
You there, metal one. I would suggest any attempt at taking my kin will involve you being melted down for scrap, I'm afraid. We gave in last time, and now our numbers are far reduced. You too, rogue trader, don't you smirk. Your kin also took our people. Your kin took my kin.
Who's saying this exactly?
Jack, the old man, the ancient one.
Jake?
Jake, yeah. Not Jack, Jake.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw my hands up a little bit, like, just, whoa, okay. Not my kin, not me either.
Well, I would, lucky for you, I don't need your people. Only a loader or two.
Loaders? Ah. As you know, we have
Yes.
them. What exactly are you trying to move?
I'm gonna put a hand,
Buildings.
just...
I want to move buildings.
Buildings? Fascinating. What metric ton are we talking about?
A cathedral-sized building.
Cray, you actually just reel off a standard template weight for the Imperator class Titans. Considering they are like the holiest of holy, I imagine even the lowliest tech priest knows quite a bit about their, just girth.
Venerate the tonnage.
Yeah, you don't want. We don't have anything that can lift that kind of weight, Sonny. Oh, you don't mean lift? He seems to
Lifters
glitch.
can also be said.
He seems to glitch for a moment before snapping back to reality. No, anything to lift that kind of tonnage is no lifter. That would be the suborbital Damon, what's the word again? What's the suborbital gravimetric lifter, Dad? Last reports of them were in the main city. He gives a date which doesn't add up to any imperial dates, but the way that he speaks.
What city did you say?
The capital city. He gives a date that doesn't line up with any imperial dates, but the way that he says it is like a scribe of the. God, I forget what they're called. Who do the scribes come from? The paper pushers, the
Unitorum
Administratum, yeah. He says it the exact way that an Administratum personnel would say if they were reading it off of a cognate list. There's no emotion behind it. He's just said it plainly and flatly. It hasn't been here in 2,000 years. They were originally used for the assaults, Dad. Oh yes, back when the events happened. Yes. No, Sonny. If you wish to find something to lift that tonnage, you must go to the capital. And may your metal god have mercy on you if you go down to that twisted place.
The fuck is going on?
All right. Do I remember where the capital is?
Yeah, down south.
If not, I will ask where the capital.
Yeah, it's down south.
Okay.
But why exactly do you want to lift such tonnage?
I want to make the cathedrals move again.
No idea what that means. Fair enough. Moving on. Resonance tells me that you
Out of
all are.
character, would an Imperial recognize that? What? What did you say? Sorry.
Sorry, what was that? An Imperial would recognize.
Would an Imperial recognize this flowery language for a Titan? Cathedral comes to you.
Yeah, no, he understands the words that you're using. He's just like, no interest, moving over. It's just gonna brush over that bit and just forget about it. He almost thinks that you're giving an answer that isn't an answer. He's like, well, I'm not gonna pry then. If you don't want to tell me exactly what you're doing, I don't care. But the weights all add up. So he's like, well, I mean, you could move a cathedral. Cathedral's weight, that's probably about right. But yeah, he moves briskly on. Resonance tells me that you all are well, you're stranded here, but you're also trying to work within the groups, within the prescribed preset, he seems to really be struggling, but you can see that his son doesn't help and Erasmus doesn't help as he's kind of bumbling for the words. The political strata that you find yourselves in.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I cannot. What?
He means that you are all here, and there is a possibility that you have to work within our political structure. As Erasmus has more than likely informed you, we do not exactly see eye to eye with the young ecclesiastical preacher, so-called archdeacon.
Yes, we have been informed, and we are aware that we'll be working alongside. Working alongside these political machinations.
Well, I truly say bollocks to a lot of it. We should just kick them out. But unfortunately, Erasmus here believes that there is some salvation to be found within the heavily armored ones.
Sisters of Battle.
Yes, the SOBs. Yes. I like their shiny bits, but not the fleshy bits. I would quite like to take apart some of their more metal parts, but they won't allow me. Heathens.
I'm gonna chuckle for a little. I'm gonna chuckle at that. Just call them fucking heathens because they would.
Damon sighs heavily, and you know, even if they let us start, that we don't have time. There's too much to be done. I know, Damon, I know. I'd still like to. It keeps the blood pumping, the fires burning, and have things that are out of reach that you wish to take apart and fondle. Yes. Fondle? Ah.
No. He speaks the truth. Having something you can idealize towards, and especially fondle afterwards, is always good. I'm going to say with a beaming smile, not specifying fleshy bit or mechanical bit, of course, but you can understand.
One's propensity to fondle, my son, leads to great things. As long as one's mind is sharp and the goal is achievable, and fondling can achieve it. Many technological advances have come from fondling technologies that were little understood at the time and now have more of a grasp. Let us speak upon the plasma. Let us not. Okay.
The what?
Dar was going to explain the intricacies of the plasma reactors, heat and radiation shielding, how one can actually be used to counteract the other using the right... too late. Fine. Cray, Mechanicus secrets have just been spoken about very openly and casually. And in a way that you're kind of like, huh? What?
Gray doesn't really mind. Gray hopes they continue. So it's just go, oh, continue on.
Really? No, Dar. No. You must...
I have a dejected look.
You must understand. My Dar is one of the last with 72%, 73.5% confirmed understanding of technologies. Correct.
What is your baseline?
Huh? Who was that to? Younger or the older?
Just a group.
Uh,
Like if you say 73%, what's 100%?
well, I have a
Do you have an SEC
51
library you compare to?
Well, of course, that's been put to the database of downloaded information. Yes, quite wonderful, actually. You see, we have a technology. Yes, technology. We have the ability to download technology into one's cranial cavity. Quite miraculous, in fact. Cray, you know of this technology. Most tech priests do. So, for the Adeptus Mechanicus, when they're creating tech priests, there are multiple ways of doing this. The way that is going to be talked about, you know of it. You may have even experienced it yourself. This is where an individual with Adeptus Mechanicus implants has information downloaded into their skull. This is also, funnily enough, what they do to the Black Shields.
Servitors?
No, the Black Shields, Space Marines. Not Black Shields,
they chemically induce it into there. Yeah.
Yeah, they download information, lived experiences from one battle brother to the other of how they kill Xenos. The Space Marines use it in a completely different way to tech priests, kind of, sort of. But essentially, you could have data downloaded into your brain that would tell you how to take apart a las gun and how to take apart the components within a las gun and to take apart those components within the components of the components, and then you could put it all back together again. Just as it is. No real thinking. You just access the knowledge and you can do it. This is forbidden law outside of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's also unbelievably dangerous, as you could probably imagine. For tech priests to undergo the download, because of all your tech priests' implants, it can be done, and the dangers are like, let's say there's a 20% chance of you becoming a vegetable. It's not bad, 20% chance you unlock the power, the knowledge of, mechanics, but there's a 20% chance you could be a vegetable. And as we all know, the Imperium don't really care about the individual, so... And the Mechanicus could always turn the vegetable into a servitor afterwards, so... Depending on which Forge World you're from, they may use this technique exclusively and just keep downloading information into a tech priest's skull until they have enough to become a Magos. Or you can go the old school way where you spend essentially decades training up individuals, going through schooling and going through all the rituals, rites, and so yeah, depending on the Forge World that you come from will change how technology is used. But Jake talks about it as if it's quite it's a technology that they have and that they utilize. He gets a bit rambly as he goes into more of the complex aspects of it, where his son kind of cuts him off again. The issue is understanding the knowledge. Once the download has been completed, you have an innate chance to understand. There are side effects, of course, and you should have the correct implants. He gestures to his head. But they're rare. now. No, no, son. They're not rare. They are exhausted. We have none left, unfortunately. And as you'll soon notice, he gestures away from the group, past the... Well, he gestures to the other mechanics. And he notes that they all only have one strip across their heads. Their scalps.
Yeah.
They are not able to understand the data to the same extent as me and Pa, because they lack the Omega and Alpha, son. Yes, you must have both implants to understand the true grandeur of the technological marvels we are stewards over. But he is right. There are noticeable social tics. And again, as you look around, maybe you noticed it before, maybe you didn't, but a lot of the individuals here have social disorders. Again, you're from the Imperium, so maybe you didn't even notice the fact that a number of them have tremors, or shaking, or they constantly wobble their head from side to side, or their legs have tremors, or everyone seems to have a real problem happening. But I was wondering, which of you is in charge, by the way? I mean, the one at the back in the odd armor says nothing. You've got the two facets who are just quietly sitting. Are you the actual one in charge, Heinrich, or is this a democracy of weirdos?
Oh, I mean, it's. I like to think of them more akin to a retinue of weirdos, but by rights, it will be my ship that'll get us off this world. So, while my advisors are high up, I see myself as a little bit of the leader. Yes, that is Heinrich being big-headed.
I see. The one with the biggest gun is the leader. It seems kind of understandable.
I look down and think of my fucking shot pistol, and think of Cray's big fuck-off weapons. Like, not particularly.
So I will posit my question to you.
I so wish I had this scrap gun on me.
Just pulls out the scrap gun and just leaves it on the table. Like...
Something leaves.
So as you all seem to be far more willing or able to venture forth, I would posit a trade that could perhaps be done, Heinrich. I believe you like trading as your rogue traders. It makes sense. Anyway,
it's kind of in the name.
We have a distinct shortage of materiel here. And I don't mean people or ores or so on and so forth. We need components. We need archaeotech is the word I believe you use for all of our mundane stuff. Yes, archaeotech. Any components you find from any of our lost or destroyed facilities could be very valuable to us. And I may have assets. Unfortunately, I would normally be like, wait for the, assets. But sadly, Heinrich has had to BRB. She'll leave the word hanging in the air. The old man has assets. What assets are these? Might be that old man money. His pension that he's been saving up.
I mean, I would speak as Coney, but I don't think people like me very much. I'm just being quiet.
Well, no, you're not with the zealots anymore. And I believe you showed your face to Arsenal. Arsenal? Eresnus? Eresnus. I believe you showed your face to Eresnus last time, so.
I mean, they still looked at me funny. So,
Well, yeah, but you're
I would ask, what do you have an offer for these components?
you're a Xenos. Of course they're going to look at you weirdly. You've got a slit in the middle of your forehead. They're like, holy fuck, where's your
She
nose?
has a helmet.
No, when she was, when you guys were last in here meeting Eresnus, Jim took his helmet off, or Cooney took her helmet off. But yeah, they just looked at you as if, oh my god, look at this freak. They didn't, belittle you that much.
I mean, I don't mind them. I do have something called the Envoy of the Greater Good, so it's okay. I understand.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I think I've just broken my vape.
I'm sorry, what did you, what? What did you just break?
Yeah, I just broke my vape. Like, the thread's gone. It's not threading anymore. It's not like working.
I mean, this is as good a time as any to stop smoking.
No, if my
I
vape
agree
doesn't
with
work,
you.
then I'll just make a rollie, and that's even worse for me, so.
I mean,
Also, Jim, how much longer have you got? About 15 minutes?
I have about an hour left in the tank.
Oh, you still have an hour. Okay, no worries. No worries, then we will move on ever so slightly. So as the old man mentions that he has resources, he has assets. Cray takes the bait and inquires, what do you have, old man? I don't have anything on me now. Hang on. Looks around his person. Do you actually have anything on his person that I can... Like, I know he's meant to have a few things to trade. But as a mechanic, would he have any, like, archaeotech goodies that are just on him? Let me have a look. So, no, not that one. I want that one. Give me this one, game. So I know he's got a combi tool on him, and I'm pretty sure it's an archaeotech combi tool. I want to see if it does. Oh, come on, load for me. Okay, Roll20 has loaded it, finally. Let me have a look. So we're on combat. We're still on weapons. Drugs. Here we go, items. So, is it just that one? Oh, that may have been the only one I made at the moment. Let me just have a look and see if there was anything under lost treasures. because I've only got 3 of them down, and it is Polywar
Sorry,
helmet,
I'm back.
Polywar chainsword.
Wait, what?
Albie asked what kind of goodie bits the mechanic had, as he said that he had assets, and now he's kind of scrambling around himself to see what kind of things he has on him. So he brings he brings forth 2 items. Actually, I can't remember if I've given you guys this one. No, I don't think I have. So he brings forth 2 items. As he's quickly tapping himself and trying to like, he brings forth a small box that fits in the palm of his hand, and then he opens the box up, and it turns into kind of like a glove. He puts his hand into it, and it's almost like a knuckle duster. But then he points it at you, Cray, and a light comes on, and he explains that it is an Archaeotech Auspex scanner. It never runs out of energy. It has a +5 to all tests made with it. He says that it never fails him. It always works because it has lucky, which means it gives him an extra fortune point when he uses it.
Right.
But he does say that it does make him feel a bit sluggish and a bit slow. If you have this item equipped onto you, you have a -3 penalty to your initiative.
Okay.
But you do gain an additional 1 degree of success whenever you use the device. He puts that back in his pocket. Not for you. Some of the assets I have. He grabs another one. He takes out a combi tool, but it doesn't look like a combi tool to start off with. It looks like a long pole, and then he hits some markers on the shaft. Hit some markers on the shaft, and it opens up and turns into a combi tool. He says that this one is also makes him feel lucky. So technically, he gets 2 extra fortune points just for having the 2 items equipped onto him.
Fucker.
Yeah, I know. And I have other stuff as well. You know, we have access to well, the Archaeotech facility underneath the Sky Tower. It kind of holds a lot of trinkets and doodads and
You trinkets and baubles.
Yes, a lot of baubles and trinkets and shiny things. Yes, if you were to provide me with componentry from our lost facilities or anything of the such, I would possibly, if you provide me with enough, be able to provide certain goods and services and thingies.
Of course. More than happy to.
Really? No, that was simple.
Yeah. It's simple. It's a simple give and take and exchange, isn't it?
Huh, I figured you'd be more of a rapscallion and greedy. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I've got a bit of a grin on my face when you say that, but I'm looking at Cray and it's like, Cray, what? Is it all acceptable with you as well?
So,
Cray.
so as the Metal Man is computing, it seems, what exactly is your goal here, Heinrich?
Here, as we speak, or
As the greater whole of what you're doing here, are you Are you trying to rule this place? Are you like the last rogue trader who wished to take assets away from here, or are you claiming this world as your own, or are you, Because I'll be honest with you, the last one of your kind that turned up kind of fucked us all over, so I'm not really too keen in experiencing that loss again.
Again, I'm gonna deal in all this with a bit of a laid back demeanor. I do glad I chuckle with that. I was like, yes, from what I've heard and seen, and unfortunately experienced, it did seem whoever came before me, whatever house came before me, fucked things up, to put things simply. And I mean, if I do wish to see this world be brought back into the Imperium as a whole, not just motioning towards like where the Sky Tower would be, roughly, like not under their control or the full-on administratum control or whatever. This is it's such an interesting planet. I can't help but not have it fall that way. But if it was still brought back into the fold of the Imperium and maintained that way, maintained this way.
And how much sway do you have with the impotent little pup, Odland? Can you, I don't know, like force him to stop doing things that we keep telling him not to do, perhaps?
I have a feeling you're talking about something in particular. Perhaps something about a shield?
Well, I mean, actually, I was talking about, causing all the vegetables in our community. Ah, you shouldn't. No, it needs to be said. I was always against it, my son, but he's killing us. Our numbers are not growing, they're dwindling. And once I am gone, well, what will happen then? Calamity, is what I say. Yes, tell Ordland to stop putting our young people through the trial. They are not mechanics. They do not have the org.
The trial? Is he referencing the same thing he did previously? Cooney, don't be a dick. Is he referencing the same thing as into the induction of knowledge?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, no. Kind of. You see, how do I... The human brain is a complex bioelectrical computer that... He goes on about brain chemistry before his son stops him. Point. Get to. Yes, sorry. It is possible for someone to undergo the download process and understand the data that is downloaded. It's not a high % chance. It's around 70% chance that they'll undergo severe psychological and mental trauma.
Right.
But you see, how do I explain this in a way that when the Archdeacon, that silver-tongued bastard, came here, he made it seem almost as if it was an inevitability that the God Emperor would come and reclaim this place, and that for him to arrive, war must be made. And our people, those of the South, the twisted ones, the genetic retards that played God and fucked up and found out. Our ancestors, in some respects, we are all of the same bloodline and genetic formula and so on, but point. Yes, sorry, son. You see, when our fighters left, we were outmatched and outgunned by the SOBs. So our leadership decided that it would be best if we had an ace up our sleeves. We activated the defense systems, the internal defense systems. His eyes go wide, and like there's lightning in his eyes, where he's like talking about the defense systems, laser turrets, Gatling cannons, and so on and so forth. Before his son gets him back to the point. Yes, son. Yes, sir. These defenses are automatic. Anyone who does not have the correct authorization and implants eradicated on site. It's the only thing that's kept the facility in our grasp, you see. The SOBs could quite easily destroy us. Sons of bitches and those shiny suits.
I will put a finger up on. Not exactly sons, are they?
Well, it is an expression, sons of bitches. I mean, SOB as well, sons of bitches. Anyway, the point being is that we had to activate the defenses. So only us true born can enter. But there was a price to pay. You see, when our commanders didn't return and Ortland took command, he made a lot of demands and threats and talk of a wrathful god that would come and smite us all if we didn't allow them access. I told him he's more than welcome to try. Maybe the God Emperor will stop the defenses for him. But anyway, I shouldn't. So anyway, a compromise had to be made, and the compromise was that we would give them access to the certain learning technologies. You've seen the skill rooms and the training halls and so on and so forth.
And odd.
We give them access to all of that. We could take it away if we wished. But it was part of the agreement. And he goes really like red, and like you can see that there's shame written all over his face. And I didn't postrate that their understanding of our technologies would lead them to be able to utilize certain upgrades they shouldn't have had access to. You may have noticed that most of our young men aren't here. Well,
Yes.
Odland claims that they are to be entered into the ecclesiarchy as priests, which again we agreed that was an acceptable outcome, that some of our youngsters are trained as priests, and some of them were. The rest, however, they put through the trial. I don't have the power to stop him. I know those armored suits aren't fully powered, but those weapons are. The bolt guns. we don't have a bargaining chip to get them to stop. And I fear what they're trying to create. Cray, forbidden knowledge roll. Can I get a minus 60 on your Adeptus Mechanicus lore? This is a proper difficult roll that you may have heard something of.
Can I postule a question?
Sure.
I think Curie would speak for the first time and say, by the trial, do you mean those people that sing and seem out of it? Is that the result you speak of?
I don't know of what you speak. I can only tell you, catastrophic brain damage is part of it, an inescapable part, unfortunately. If there are individuals inside who are showing signs of, then yes. Craig, can I get a Forbidden Law Adeptus Mechanicus roll with a minus 60?
What?
Ah?
The fuck did you just roll? Oh, that's your target.
Yes,
Holy shit!
I passed my target.
What's up with your character
For
sheet?
some reason, the sheet doesn't want to work, so I just...
Oh, okay.
I have an 86 forbidden lore, minus 60 means 26. I rolled a 21, so I pass with 1 degree of success.
Fair enough.
Fucking hell.
So, Cray, I'll probably leave it up to you exactly how you know of this.
I did spend a lot of time in the library.
It's highly heretical, so probably not. You would have either heard, like, eavesdropping, you overheard someone talk about it, and you did some digging, or you've heard rumors or stories or hearsay, but maybe you never really thought it was true. So, there is a sect within the Adeptus Mechanicus that you would know of. They are the purified flesh, or the sect of the purified flesh. So they believe that the human body was created by the Omnisire, the most advanced biological machine in creation. So they are specialists in bio-augments, but also they have their own belief system. So within the deepest parts of the sect, they believe that individuals are born with the power of the Omnisire. The God Emperor was one of them. He could touch machinery and repair it. He knew how things worked just by touching them. He was a part of the machine god. Well, they believe that artificial emperors can be created. Every now and then they're born into our realm. There's one during the Horus Heresy. She's the first ever Adeptus Mechanicus saint. She's the one, well, anyway, yeah, she's a saint. They are known as machine touched. Now, they do exist in other parts of the Adeptus Mechanicus, or rumors of them exist, but there is, and this is what the Forbidden Law role was for, there are attempts to make artificial machine touched. And the way that they do this, the cult will apply biomechanical augments to the brain, and then they will download information on a biblical level into someone's skull. And if they survive, and if they understand all the knowledge, they are machine touched, and they are almost automatically put up to the rank of Magos. because the Omnisci has gifted them with the ability to understand his blessed teachings. Now, in reality, this is more of a case of luck if someone is able to survive and understand the knowledge and not be a complete vegetable at the end of it. As far as I could find, none of these attempts have borne fruit. But the cult continues to try. So you've overheard this talk, or you found a secret file with knowledge of this in. If the ecclesiarchy know of this, it would be very, very bad for the Adeptus Mechanicus. If the ecclesiarchy is successful in creating a machine touched, this would be catastrophic for the Adeptus Mechanicus. This would be going to war with the ecclesiarchy, because they would technically have someone who knows the knowledge of machinery, of machines. So yeah, not good for the Adeptus Mechanicus. You're not entirely sure how they would know, how this Ordland knows. But, you know, you can keep that information secret if you want, or you can, you know, let the group know that, oh, you've heard of this thing. You've heard of it before. But as he goes on, it was a mistake I made, and I would like you to fix it for me, Heinrich. And in return, he thinks for a while. What do you want in return, actually?
I'm just kind of sitting and pondering, thinking that, like, I don't know the whole story. Craig hasn't told me yet, or anything else like that, or if, but knowing that some of them are coming out essentially brain damage and stuff like that, having this procedure stopped. I'm not sure yet, to be honest. It is quite, not only quite the undertaking, but quite a...
What if I got you access to the vault?
Mayhaps. What vault is this?
The guild vault. You were in Sky Tower. You must have seen it.
Okay. The guild vault from that the adventure LARP, right?
You know. He sits for a moment, and then, because I completely forgot to put it onto the map, a few moments later, something comes scuttling off your back, and then pokes its head up. Completely forgot. I didn't transfer the Spooder Skull. Terrible.
Yeah, I can't use the Spooder Skull.
No,
Just figured he's on my back anyway.
Yeah, he was on your back.
I'm sure there's plenty of things on there I shouldn't be able to see at the moment anyway, so no worries.
He scuttles around and makes himself known, proudly presenting himself.
When he sounds confused, I will put my hand out so he can just run across from my shoulder to the table.
How did you... so you must have found a facility, then?
What, here?
No, not here. We don't have any servo spiders left.
Well,
No,
yes.
no, they feast functions. I don't know. It was poor Damien's. 100 years, 200 years ago, something like that.
We
The memory gets a bit foggy when you go too far back.
I'm gonna. Well, yes. After I kind of like look at his elbows. 100 plus 200.
Oh, my age. I think my record says about 342 or something. I'm quite old.
I will spit my drink out at that. Not what I expected, honestly.
Dar was around before your lot turned up. Dar was around when the shield was still fully raised. He was the last one who, before me, who got the Alpha and Omega upgrade, son. Yes, Dar.
Was that... over 300 years?
Yes. We had quite a... As a rogue trader, you're surely aware that human life can be extended to quite some considerable extent.
Oh, yeah. I'm more than aware of that.
Heinrich, he's really, really old, even for Imperial standards. Like, for a 347-year-old, you'd expect him to be in a bed with ventilators and...
No, it can happen. Yeah, it's very, very, very up there, and like the paper skin is a good giveaway at that. But
it's normally for Imperial, you're up and about for around the 300 years. Like after 300, you normally start going downhill very quickly, unless you have There are some medicines that are technically very heretical, but made out of another Xenos species that can help. But that's very, 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 very illegal. So you might know of it, Heinrich.
Probably. I do know of rejuve treatments, which is the very simple one, and then rejuvenant treatments itself is actually quite expensive. But
yeah, the older you are, the more expensive it gets, essentially. And you can if you think of it as like the first lot is more plastic surgery, more anti-agent stuff, whereas later on, it's like full on. They need to give you stuff that cleans out all your organs or replace organs or this, that, and the other. He is extremely old. I was one of the last to but my knowledge far surpassed anyone else's that has come before me. So it was elected that I should be kept around far longer than I should have been. But unfortunately, that technology can only take one so far. Yes.
I would more than say so. You're older than most nobility that I know of. Well, at least those who aren't confined to beds or extenuating chairs.
When the shields were not... Oh, yes, the shields. Tell that upstart little prick to turn them off. I keep telling him the shields, the idea behind them was that there was a delay, a charge time. And as you have a servo spider and you've clearly accessed some of the facility's entertainment aspects, this world was for entertainment, for fighting, for doing glorious combat against hideous monsters. Well, because this place was designed for heroes to fight back the monsters and then for the shields to be raised and all is protected and well, the shield capacitors have a very long delay. It's 60 minutes, to be precise. Well, we can charge the shields up and keep the capacitors filled. And we have a system that prevents them from exploding catastrophically. But Orland has not listened to my demands and urgent pleas that it's jerry-rigged. The capacitors are failing. They've spent too long holding charge. And then he starts going into the fact, like the technical terms for the fact that the batteries are degrading because of the loss of element. And then his son cuts him off again. And yes. Cray, again, he's just splurting out stuff which normally would be very forbidden and very like, that normally takes years of training to know this stuff. And he just blurts it out like, interesting.
He's probably older than some tech priests.
He is indeed. In fact, there are some tech priests who don't live as long as him, even with the augments.
Yeah. Not Cole.
Yeah,
apparently.
no, apart from Cole. Well, that's because he clones himself. Yes, that old chestnut.
But then he doesn't have a fucking soul.
See, they already explained this with Fabulous Bile. You're able to clone yourself as long as it's yourself, because your soul goes into the vessel. It's the same with like the tech priests. The tech priests clone themselves all the time for spares and repairs. And that's legitimately what it is. It's for spares and repairs.
Apparently Krieg is also used for cloning.
Yes.
Sounds like a dumb explanation.
Well,
But the main ones that come out with no soul are the ones that were like whole populations that were cloned, and like
it's
the Imperial heroes that were cloned into the Imperial Guard regiment.
It's when essentially if you use an egg and a sperm, there is no problem. A soul is created because you've used an egg and a sperm. If you try to just take the cells and clone them, there is no soul. At least that's my understanding of 40K's. Cloning doesn't work, but it does work. As long as you clone yourself and you use it on yourself, or you put your brain in that body, it's fine. But if you make them living and they do their own thing, then it's actually 40. That's a good point. I've just finished a Rogue Trader book series where a tech priest clones himself for spares and repairs, but there's a problem with the cloning. A 1 in a million chance happens, and his clone comes out female. So he raises the clone as his daughter because he's like, this is a 1 in a million chance that the genetics would not come out as a perfect clone of me. I'm going to raise her as a daughter. And he finds out that she is a complete individual. She is nothing like him in character or personality, but is better than him with intelligence. She's more intelligent than he has ever been. So, yeah, she shouldn't have lived. She should have technically been killed by the laws of the universe.
Thermodynamics.
Yeah, thermodynamics. That's exactly it. Yeah.
I don't know if that actually is or not.
No, it's not. But, yeah, by the laws of 40K, she shouldn't have existed or shouldn't have worked.
Same.
That's odd. Maybe you can do it once or twice, then the law changes. So, yeah, he explains basically that because Orland wants the shields to be raised immediately, they're keeping them at 99% charge. For years, this has been going on. Like almost 19 years. So, yeah, it needs to stop. And Craig, you would also be running the numbers. And you'd be a little bit concerned as well if you tried doing that to a ship's shield capacitors, keeping them at 99%, but then, for a long period of time, how is it not exploded, like, catastrophically?
I'm starting to think that maybe we should just overload the reactors so the entire ecclesiarchy village died in a nuclear hellfire.
Yeah, but they kind of want that. They kind of want the village, not, activating the fucking nuke with their power supply.
Yeah, but we want the loaders, and the loaders are down south, so...
I mean,
Let's
if we
fuck
make a
this place.
crater
Turn
to
it into
the...
glass.
Yeah, we're going to glass this place just so we can have a tunnel to the fucking loaders underground. Saya, hello, yes.
Budgie!
So is there anything you'd like to ask the mechanic whilst he's here? Is there anything, maybe bubbling question?
Oh, Lord Almighty. By the Emperor, help. Saya. Stop it. You're okay.
We just let you go.
She is looking for attention.
Where's she?
Well, so just to summarize the things to an extent, you're requesting that we find you archaeotech components. So to us, archaeotech, to you, components. For maintaining spares and repairs as well as general maintenance, correct?
Yes.
There is the return of your sons from the ecclesiarchy's hold, as they are continuing to perform, not only making them into priests, but making them into brain-dead vegetables.
But if you could just stop them being vegetated, that would be fine.
Okay. There's a little bit of compromise there, with it at least. Okay. And you also
Would
want
I
the
know...
shields to...
sorry to interrupt, continue.
No, go ahead.
Would I know how to vegetable them?
Yeah, that can't be done. Even with Imperial medical science, which is really advanced, certain amount of brain damage can't be undone.
They would be the
there
kind
is
of...
a way, but that requires you to believe in reincarnation.
you probably want to put the... You may as well have already underwent the shunt for servitorization at this point.
That's a way to say to fix the vegetation problem.
Yeah, there's one way to fix them, so they can still be usable. Make them servitors. Do these guys understand the concept of servitors?
Probably.
No, they called us spiders servo spiders, but servitors.
Yeah.
The only ones they would ever have seen are the two outside front pulling your car, but they haven't seen them.
Yeah. Oh, Lord Almighty. Yeah, I will literally be shaking my head there in a moment. Emperor, give me peace. And lastly, sorry, was the shield, the allowing of the engine of the shield generators to rest.
Correct.
Right. Well, the fact that I actually wish to see this planet succeed in things, I merely hope that we can come to a fortuitous end to all these for all of us. And listen, I will look into these best I can, and I'm sure my comrades will as well. I'll look at Cooney, Cray, and over at Mothermouth and Thomas. Like I said, I wish for this world to come into the Imperial fold, but have it be killed via idiotic meddling. It's not going to do anyone any favors, is it?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Heinrich, so far everyone I've met from the Imperium has been meddling fuckwits.
Unfortunately, some of them are. But unfortunately, the the great political game of the Imperium is brought wherever it goes, especially when a joint detachment goes anywhere. Well, I understand you don't. You mayhaps don't want to exactly do it, but it's part of my terms of assistance. I am an Imperial through and through. I am not only Imperial, I am partial nobility, as well as part of belonging to a rogue trader house. I have a little more leeway when it comes to things, but I am still an Imperial citizen. The previous rogue trader, I don't even know if you got their name or whatever, but
I think it was Ostermark, or Ostland, or Osterbay, or something along those lines.
would I know that name?
Yes, you have seen their symbol. You saw the Rogue Trader monolith. I believe the Shadowkin said the name at one point. I have got it marked down somewhere.
I don't remember them saying that, but okay.
It is locations. Is it that one? Celtic name. Called the Horned one. Maybe that's a different one. I've got it around here somewhere, but it was the Ostagar, yeah, Oskar, and that was at the Rogue Trader monolith. So you might have done a roll, but then didn't succeed. That might be what happened.
Okay.
But yes, as the talking continues, more drinks are brought out, and if there are no questions, we can actually end the episode off there.
No further questions at this time.
Okay. Well, they will be around in the next episode. So if you need to ask them something, they will be around then. Then yes, in the next episode, we'll find out what... Well, actually, no, you've got the blacksmith to go and see. See what he can do for you if you want to power up his equipment. And then yeah, it's up to you to decide what quests you want to go and do and what you want to explore and so on. So in the next episode, we'll have a little bit more story and talking about what this place can do for the players, what the players can do for this place, and then they'll be starting their next quest, or starting the next chain of quests, because you've got quite a few now to get cracking on with. So yeah, that will be the end of our episode. I certainly hope everyone has enjoyed and are looking forward to future episodes, where yeah, less talky things will be happening, more rolling of dice and stabbing of things, I should imagine, will take place. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye bye for now.
Bye.
See ya.